Hello, I am here again for the third human calculator trick video for today, but I am going to do it similar to how famous mathematician Arthur Benjamin does it. So if you don't know who Arthur Benjamin is, then he's a PhD mathematician. You've probably seen his videos if you watch TED Talks on a basis. He goes on stage in front of a bunch of people and he brings up a group of kids on stage, and the kids have calculators in their hands. And so the first thing that he usually does, he gets two people from the audience to call out a two-digit number between 11 and 99, and they call out those two numbers and he multiplies those two numbers. So I'll get my phone out and I'll generate two random numbers, but here's how I'll do. So I am going to generate, the reason why it's from 1 to 9 is so I could generate the digits. So off I go, 80 something, 86 times 40 something, 41. So if that was Arthur Benjamin and he called out two guys from the audience and one of them would say 86 and the other one would say 41, then Benjamin would be like, multiply 86 by 41 on your calculator and make sure you get 3,526. Yeah! That was like filet mignon, brother. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to squaring. So I'm going to square four two-digit numbers. And I am going to... So the range is between 11 and 99. I hope I won't get any multiples of 10. Otherwise, that will be way too easy. So I'll just kick this off with 42. 42 squared is 1,764. There is a square button here. There we go. 32 squared is 1,024. That's nice and easy. That's also 2 to the power of 10. 29 squared is 841. Squared, 841. There we go. And one more number. 58 squared is 3,364. In fact, the answer that I had just previously got, you can multiply that by 2 squared and get that, or you can do this and get 3,364. Next, I am going to take a group of three-digit numbers. I'm going to take 4 of them. I'm going to square these three-digit numbers, which are in the range of 101 to 999. And so what Arthur Benjamin does, he goes to the audience, and one part of the audience, one guy from the audience calls out a three-digit number and he squares that number in just seconds. I can't even do that because it just gets harder and harder. So I'm going to try and work out 4 three-digit numbers and square it. Okay, so the first number I get 302. Oh, that might actually be an easy one. 302 squared is 91,204. There we go. I mean, when you got those zeros in the middle of them, then it might just be some other kind of magic, you know? But I'm going to go for another number. 663 squared. Ooh. Oh, okay. I got it. This took me some time, but 439,569. Hopefully I get this. 439,569. Ah, there we go. But yeah, I got 439,569, so that's right. Goodness me. Sometimes it can be like a pie in the face, you know, but I still got... Wait, what the heck is on my calculator? Okay, whatever. I'm just going to generate another. I got 2 more numbers to generate, so this is going to be like 2 more pies in the face. Oh, that's easy. 193,600. Like, if you know what 44 squared is, then you can multiply that by 100. Okay, that was an easy one. Okay. Give me a harder one. A hard one. No! 998,001. No. You know what? I'll go for a bonus number. Those two were too easy. Give me another 663, please. Or a number that was just as hard as 660. Please make it hard. Please make it hard. Oh, goodness. It's got that zero in the middle of it. But it's 257,049. Yeah, okay, a hard one. Okay. Another 663, please. Okay, 673. That was close, but 673 squared. Right. I believe it's 452,929. Let me calculate that. Yes! Okay, at least that was another hard one, but next I'm going to move on to the 4 digits. The next thing I'm going to do is going to be absolutely hellish. I'm going to generate a 4-digit number, but digit by digit. So that's why the range is still between 1 and 9. So if I go 1,000, and by the way, I can change that minimum digit to 0 as long as the minimum range is 1,001 to 9,999, all right? 9, so 1,900. 1,912 squares. So I'm going to try and work out 1,912 squared in my head. So do bear with me. I think that it's 3,655,744. Let me calculate that though. Hopefully I'm right. 3,655,744. Oh, sorry. Wow. Unbelievable. Well, that was some Arthur Benjamin style mathematics, I gotta say. I'll tell you what. So, one day when I was in 9th grade, it was at the end of 9th grade, so I watched Arthur Benjamin on TED. And so you grab 3 kids and make some calculations, like let's say you multiply 51 by 46, which is 2,346. And so he would just call out 51, or well, one guy from the audience would call 51, the other guy from the audience would call 46. He would say, grab your calculators and multiply 51 by 46 and make sure it's 2,346, right? And then he would go on to grab one kid and square, like one kid will say the number with the calculator on. Let's say one kid will say 33 and the guy would write 1,089 on the whiteboard, and one other kid would say 56 and the professor would write 3,136 on the whiteboard, and the third guy would say 97 and then he would write 9,409 on the whiteboard. And so that's how he does it. You know, if you watch those videos, then at least you have an idea of it. And so when I first watched Arthur Benjamin, I'm like, wow, he can actually do it to this extent. In one of his videos, he went on to calculate a 5-digit square number, which is insane. It's insane. Even calculating a 3-digit number is insane. Like, it even takes me time. Unless if it comes to some numbers that have zeros in the middle of them. Like 403, for example. 403 squared is 162,409. There are some calculations behind it that make it a lot easier to understand the logic. Anyway, guys, so that does it for this human calculator video, and that is it from me for today. I'll see you another day.